Good morning, my beloveds. This is just a moment of coffee with Pastor Heidi. And I'm using the mug this morning, Embrace the Moment, because, oh my goodness, that's good. Because I've decided this morning that I'm going to spend some time with you kind of unvarnished. I looked at the bed covers again this morning and I realized that I'm restless and impatient, and so I got up and I'm sitting here in front of the window. That's why I probably look a little backlit. And I look out at several feet of snow and cold, and I'm looking for those moments where perhaps spring will show itself just around the corner. It's not quite there, even with a little bit of water dripping this early in the day. So I realized that really the restlessness and impatience has gotten to the very root of me. And even in my sleep, I seem to be in a battle. I'm waking up more tired than I crawled into bed, and my sleep is interrupted by troubling images and worries. In truth, I feel frayed. I feel afraid. It was so evident to me that I decided to share my coffee with you in this moment, before my face is washed, before I slip into that mask of my "I'm okay, how are you" face that I feel I must wear even when I am definitely not okay. I've been sick all week, and I'm afraid it shows this morning. But still, there's this urge to slide into that mask. Do you do that too? Let's take a moment to acknowledge that we are restless and impatient. We are not rested. We are tired of this whole situation. Because perhaps by acknowledging the obvious, it'll help to ease us towards patience, even in this time of being frayed by distance and challenge. And so as I embrace this moment, let's take that moment to talk about the fact that we shared Ash Wednesday this week in a very different way, in a way that felt strange, but in a lot of other ways satisfying. We sent out ash-marked burlap squares, and I hope that you all received them, and if you didn't, I still have some. Let me know. Because the symbol of the mark usually borne by each person on Ash Wednesday couldn't be done in person. So this year, we are left with this visible mark that will last longer and become a symbol for the whole Lenten season. The ashes are going to fade from the center. I know that it will get worn, but the cloth will remain, and it'll be a symbol of the renewal and forgiveness and Christ's presence with us. During the service, I asked you to hold the burlap sign of the cross and trace the cross on the fabric, and to make note of the frayed edges, much as we are frayed by this time of isolation. I also had you pull another thread from the edge. And my beloveds, I'm going to encourage you to continue this. Anytime you wake up feeling restless and upset, acknowledge it. Pull a thread. pull a thread. And then notice that the ash cross, the symbol of Christ, is still in the center, unwavering, ever steadfast, ever present in the midst of all of our trials, in the midst of our restlessness, in the midst of those moments when patience seems so far removed. Even in a time and a place such as this. If you haven't yet started, I pray that you will take a moment, an opportunity to begin a Lenten journey today on this first Sunday of Lent. Lent is set up as a 40-day time of contemplation and reflection. And yet, if you count the days between Ash Wednesday and Easter Sunday, you're going to find that it's longer than 40 days. That's because each of the Sundays of Lent are miniature Easters. They are moments to stop and to reflect and to understand that we are part of something bigger. That even in the midst of, as I look out, this frozen landscape that's outside of all of our windows, spring is coming. I would ask you to do not be afraid, beloveds, because we are a community woven together with more than just threads. Throughout my journey, it's my intention to continue to write Sunday sermons, even though this video time is going to take the place of them. But that practice of writing for me is as much for me as it ever has been for you. You see, it feels strange to not share a sermon with you, especially at Lent. So this week you'll find a link to the sermon manuscript, This is the Sign, on our Season of Lent worship page at malonecentenaryumc.org. I hope you take a moment to read it and to understand that my heart is with you. Even when I feel afraid, even when I'm restless and impatient, even when in my big warm sweater over my jammies with my unwashed face and hair sticking straight up, sipping coffee, embracing a moment. My thoughts are with you. I want you to know that I understand all of the feelings of isolation and separation. I too am yearning for that moment when we reconnect face to face. I miss you. You have become so much a part of me. We are threads woven together. We are part of something bigger, even when it doesn't feel that way. So as you begin a time of worship this morning, I hope you take a moment to look at the little video that I shot out my back door yesterday of the water dripping from the roof, even in the midst of all of that snow, and understand that something else is coming. We will persevere. We can have the patience to get to the other side. In the meantime, My beloveds, know that you are loved. Know that even in the midst of illness, you have been at the forefront of my thoughts and my prayers. You are part of me. I am part of you. And together, we can choose to not be afraid. Persevere. Persist. Don't let impatience and restlessness get the better of you. Let's share some coffee sometime soon. I pray for you. I love you. See you soon.